Science knows no boundary. It leads to knowledge. Knowledge belongs to humanity, and it's the torch which illuminates the world. Good morning, everyone present here. A cordial welcome to you all to the second day of Science Conclave. Esteemed Regional Director, Dr. Kesab Chandra Satpathy, in his absence here, Chief Guest, esteemed academic supervisor, my dear colleagues, and children. It's wonderful to be here today to witness the wonders of science. Miracles of science is felt every moment in our everyday life. We became lazy, in fact, after the inventions of science. If you are able to listen to me here today, I'm audible to you clearly. It's also one of the gifts of science. So our life can't go without science. Keeping this in mind, we kick-started Science Conclave yesterday. Today is the second day, and the maiden event is Seminar on Science. It is our privilege to welcome Mr. Subhadipta Jena, PGT, Biology of our school, to witness the performance of our children in seminar. Sir, I welcome you to this forum. So children, those who are prepared for seminar, get ready. We shall start with this maiden event seminar. It's open now. I request the children to take over. I request the children to take over for seminar. So here we have our children to begin with the science seminar.
Birds are fascinating creatures. They descend from dinosaurs, so disguise and display cognitive abilities once thought to be reserved for humans. It's easy to understand why so many people are passionate birders. The more you learn about birds, the more captivating they are. Hello. Good morning, respected teachers, chairman, students, and my dear friends. I am Praneet Narayan. And I am Sachika Mahanti. We welcome you all to the second day of the third Children's Science Conclave. Yesterday, we had a beautiful, knowledgeable session where we saw many presentations and learned about neighbors with feathers. That is about birds. So, in continuation to it without delay, let's start the second session. First, I would like to call Pratyasha from 4B. Hello. Now, I would like to invite Pratyasha from 4B. A very good morning, everyone. Respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. I am Pratyasha Priyadarshini Sahu, a student of Standard 4, Section B. Welcome you all to the 3rd Children's Science Conclave 2022. Next. Little by little, birds make its nest. Now, I am going to present my PowerPoint presentation on the topic birds and its nest. So, a question arises. What is a nest? A nest is a structure in which a bird lives or keeps its young ones. A nest provides them a safe environment and warm place. It also helps them to hide from their predators and protect them from bad weather. So, the next question is, where can we see nests? Different species of birds make nests at different heights and different times. Some birds make nests in trees, bushes, the ground, or on balconies, and cliffs, under bridges, on electric poles, etc. For example, pigeons make very flimsy nests. They build their nest on the window of a city building or on the floor of a balcony. The hummingbirds build tiny nests. They build their nest on trees, bushes, and in places like loops of chain and wire. Doves build their nest on trees, window ledge, and on other man-made structures. What are the things birds use to make their nest? Birds generally use straw, feathers, grass, etc. But birds also use mud, man-made material, mousses, tree chains, reeds, etc. When do birds make their nest? Birds usually start making their nest in the month of April. It is a very busy time for them because making a nest is a very time-consuming task. Let's know the nesting habits of different birds. The sparrow, sunbird, and dove mostly walk in pairs to build their nest. It makes its nest between the branches of tree, on the top of the almirah, behind the shelf, or any other such corner. The nest of tailor bird can be generally seen hanging from the branches of the tree. The tailor bird stitches the leaves using small twigs as thread. It also uses small twigs, straw, grass, etc. inside it to make a cushion. The barbed bird, also known as coppersmith bird, makes nest in the holes of tree trunk. The nest is a hole which is dug with the help of the beak. It means it carves out holes in the tree trunk to build its nest. The sunbird's nest is also very unique. It makes a nest that hangs from the branch of a small tree or a bush. It uses plant fibers, grass, spider web, feathers, etc. The male bird weaves the nest half and lets the female bird choose in which she is comfortable. Then both the male and female birds make the rest of the nest together. The penguins live in cold places where it is very difficult to find straw, grass, etc. So they collect some pebbles and stones to make their nest. Different types of nests. Let us know the names of different types of nests using this picture. Birds like pigeon's nest is called ledge. Birds like swallow's nest is called ather and cup. Birds like hummingbird's nest is called cup. Birds like kingfisher's nest is called burrow. Birds like woodpecker and parrot's nest is called cavity. Most of the flamingo species nest is called mound. The process of making nest is not at all easy. Birds also have a challenging job of protecting their young ones and eggs from their predators. So, we should never disturb the bird or break their nest. We should love them and take care of them. Thank you so much. With this, I come to an end of my presentation. I would love to answer if any of you have any queries.
Thank you, Pratyasa. Very well presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Well done. Actually, you have said in detail about different nests of birds. Only one question I would like to know. Birds belongs to which group of animals or which class of animals?
So,
Are they animals or something else?
so they are animals which can fly.
They belong to
So-
which class of animals?
No.
Okay. They group to aves, avian. Avian means those who can fly. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And which
Okay.
nest you like? You have said about so many nest of birds. In which nest of birds you are more interested in?
The tailor bird's nest.
Why?
So because as it stitches its nest, it's very interesting thing how it does like us as we stitch our cloth using that.
Okay, very good. Another very simple question. You said that birds make their nest in the month of April. Why do they make their nest in the month of April? Why not in June, July?
Because after April there is rainy season when birds cannot means
They needs to
yes
make it
that
ready by the
they
rains.
cannot collect because of the rain, so they make their nest in the April.
Very good answer. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Well done. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody present over here. Today, I, 7 science grade of Class 5, Section D, PAB Public School, Chhatrapati is here to present a discussion on the topic role of birds in our nature. And the theme is neighbor with feather. First, let's see that what we are going to learn by this presentation. First, we are going to learn about the role of birds in our nature and then the useful aspects of bird, importance of birds in our nature, as well as we are going to learn some interesting facts. First, birds help us in food. Birds give us. Birds helps us in communication. Bird helps us for company to reduce loneliness. Birds are the beauty of attraction, and they are also used for communication. And next, food. Friends, we all must have visited to the poultry farm, and we have seen the birds like chicken, pigeon, quail, duck, itik are kept there as people like to eat the meat of these birds. And friends, you also we must be knowing that they are rich of protein, and protein is required for strengthening our muscles as well as our tooth. And it also helps in healing of our wounds very easily. Then birds also helps us in agriculture in some of the followings. First one is pollination. Second one is pest control. Another one is giving fertility to the soil. And the main is rodent control. First, pollination. In this process, small birds like hummingbird and sunbird stand or land on the flowers, and the pollen grains of those flowers get attached with the leg of those birds, and when they land at another place, these pollen grains get scrambled and this forms a new plant. Pest control. Friends, you all must be having garden in your home, or then you must be gardening to the plants, and you must have seen that the yellow color thing is eating or destroying to the plant. And friends, that is none other than this. And we have studied that birds also eat pest. In this way, the birds help to the plant from being destroyed, from not being destroyed. And it all the waste material came out the body, gives fertilizers to the soil, which helps the plant to grow in a more smoother way. Rodent control. We all know that rodents like squirrel, rat eat the plant from the base, and this destroys a plant whole. But birds like eagle eat rodents, and this helps in rodent control. Friends, you all can see that this is a Eurasian jay, and these are some of the birds which help us in agriculture. Communication. Friends, we all must have studied in ancient time stories that a kabutar, pigeon, or a tota, parrot transfer the message from one place to another. In this process, a pigeon or a parrot is specially trained to transfer the messages from one place to another, as in ancient time there were no advanced vehicles like today. Next. Birds also gives us company. Birds like parrots can culprate us or imitate us what we say. They can give us company to reduce loneliness and beauty of attraction. If we listen the beauty of attraction word, the first word comes to our mind is none other than peacock. Peacock is our national bird. Peacock is the national bird of our country, India. It maintains itself with a less quantity of food as well as water. Importance of birds in our nature. Just now we have listened some of the importance of birds. Then now it also helps in food chain. It also helps the birds. Birds also helps us in cleaning our surrounding. The dead bodies of animals as well as humans are eaten by scavengers. And if we say them environment cleaners, then it is not wrong. Next. Friends, can you say which bird is this? This is none other than European starling. Friends, it has an interesting fact that the US Air Force uses this bird for navigating the positioning of the rival country or the enemies. And this is a eighted duck. And in Norway as well as Iceland, it is used to make jackets. Friends, all our mothers, sisters must be wearing this hat. And friends, this hat is made by Adian Condor. This is hornbill ivory. Many people keep this hornbill ivory to decorate their home. Peruvian guano industry. Friend, do you know when Peru had a drought, this Peruvian guano bird had saved their life by giving eggs, and people ate this egg for almost 2 years. And these are some of the pictures of Peruvian guano industry. Thank you. Anybody has any queries?
Thank you, Sovan, for a nice and confident presentation. And let us know with so many different nature of birds and so many facts about birds. You have said that birds help in agriculture. And one of the example is given, they help in pollination. What is exactly pollination?
Sir, pollination is a process in which the pollen grains of the flower or the plant get attached with the small insects or birds like sunbird or hummingbird. Then when the land on a flat surface, these pollen grains get scrambled and this forms a new plant.
If pollen grains will fall on a flat surface, is it going to give a new plant?
Yes, sir. If on
How?
soil. If on soil.
Because as I understand, pollen grain contains the male gamete. Only with male gamete we cannot have a plant. When the male gamete will fuse with the female gamete, then there can be a plant. Okay. So you can say the pollen grains land on the stigma. Okay. Pollen grain is the male part. Male gamete contains the male gamete, and stigma is the part of the ovary. So birds help in transfer of pollen grain from one flower to the stigma of another flower. Because stigma, then it will connect it to style, then it will ovary. Within the ovary, female gamete will be there. Okay. Okay. You have said they help in pollination. Pollination by birds is called as?
Sir, there are some insects we have studied in insects chapter, as well as there are some birds, small birds, which help in pollination.
Okay, I understand. Only the term I was asking, it is called as ornithopily. What is that called as?
Ornithopily.
Ornithopily is the process of pollination by birds. Okay, thank you very much. Well presented. Okay.
Hello. Thank you, Sopan. Very informative. Now, I would like to invite Uday Anshuman from 4C. Good morning, present over here. Good morning, everybody present over here. I am Udanshuman Bera of 4C. Now I am going to tell something about the famous ornithologist. So here is the video of a bird. So can anyone find which bird is this? And seeing many hands are up. Okay. So this bird is the tailor bird and this is the cuckoo bird. Ornithology, it is a branch of zoology that concerns the methodological study and consequent knowledge of birds with all that relates to them. The study includes their physiology, classification, ecology, and behavior. Some Indian ornithologists are Humayun Abdul Ali, Salim Maujuddin Abdul Ali. So, can anyone find who is he? Yes, I am hearing that everyone saying Dr. Salim Ali. So, he had born on 12 November 1896 and had died in 20 June 1987. He is also known as the father of Indian ornithology. So, sometimes he referred to as the Birdman of India. He was the first Indian to conduct systematic bird surveys across India and wrote several bird books that popularized ornithology in India. He created the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, Keoladio National Park, and prevented the destruction of what is now the Silent Valley National Park. Along with Sidney Dillon Ripley, he wrote the landmark 10-volume handbook of the birds of India and Pakistan. He was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1958 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1976, India's third and second highest civilian honors respectively. Memorials to Salim Ali. Salim Ali's fruit bat, Salim Ali's lake, and Salim Ali's bird sanctuary. Salim Ali's passion for birds started when he was just a child. He was the youngest of 9 children who were all orphaned. When Salim was just 3 and adopted by their childless aunt and uncle. The young boy was not at all good at studies and actually disliked maths. I had dreamed of taking up geology, particularly ornithology, as a profession when I grew up, and of becoming an intrepid explorer and big game hunter. Salim Ali came from a distinguished and cultured Bombay, which is known Mumbai today, family which included an early president of the Indian National Congress, as well as one of the first Indian members of the Indian Civil Service. Birds play countless roles in healthy ecosystems, which is why preventing bird diversity helps everyone. Birds have ecological value as important elements of natural systems. Birds provide insect and rodent control. Birds provide plant pollination. Birds help in seed dispersal, which result in tangible benefits to people. Insect outbreaks can annually destroy hundreds of millions of dollars of agriculture and forest products. National Bird Day. It is celebrated on 5th January. Let us take one slogan that birds make you smile, let them live for a while. Thank you.
I think again, thank you, Uday and Suman.
Thank
Again,
you, sir.
nice presentation. You have said about famous ornithologist,
Yes.
and you have said about ornithology. What is exactly ornithology?
Sir, the study of the birds is known as ornithology.
You talked about Colorado National Park. That is, can you give any bird species of any particular bird species of Colorado National Park? Which are the abundant bird of Colorado National Park? Okay, let us say, where is Colorado National Park located?
Sir, it is in the Bharatpur Sanctuary.
Oh, exactly in which state?
Sir, I can tell.
Okay, it is Rajasthan.
Okay, sir.
And also you might be knowing that it hosts so many Siberian cranes in the winter. So many migratory birds from cold countries, they come to Colorado National Park. Okay. Thank you. Very
Thank
good.
you, sir. Thank you.
Didn't you clap for your friends?
Hello. Thank you, Anshuman, for nicely presenting the facts. Now, please welcome Avnish and Anushka from 4C and 4D. Warm welcome to all of you in this third Children's Science Conclave. I am Abneesh Pradhan from Standard 4C. Welcome you all, respected chief guests, teachers, and my dear all friends.
I am Anushka Ankshita Samal of Standard 4, Section D, a student of DAV Public School, Chandrasekharpur, Bhubaneswar.
As you can see on our screen, today's theme of the topic is neighbors with feathers. But in my topic, I am only going to focus in birds' feet and claws. Before going to birds' feet and claws, let us know what is birds. Birds live at different places according to their needs and body features. They have wings and most of them can fly. They have light hollow bones and strong muscles. All the birds have 2 feet and a beak. Their feet have claws. Feet and claws. Claws are the sharp and curled nails present in the feet. Claws of the birds are shaped to suit their perching and food habits. They are used for climbing, protecting, holding food, swimming, and perching, etc. Anushka, have you ever seen birds' claws near?
Yes, Abneesh, I have seen some birds' claws in front of my home, just like the claws of sparrow, the claws of crow, and etc.
Now let us know different types of claws of different types of birds. It's over to you, Anushka.
Thank you, Abneesh. So, the first type that we are going to talk about is birds of prey. So, friends, what do you mean by birds of prey? Birds which kill other smaller animals and eat them as food are called birds of prey. Some birds like eagle, vulture, and hawk have strong and sharp claws. These help them to firmly hold the prey while flying. The second type that we are going to talk about is perching birds. Some birds like sparrows, crows, and pigeons have long and slender claws with 3 toes in front and 1 at the back. They are called perching birds. They can even sleep while perching on branches of trees or wires and hold it firmly. The third type that we are going to talk about is swimming birds. Ducks and penguins have webbed feet that help them to swim. The front toes of these birds are joined by skin, giving them a flat appearance. Ducks and penguins are good swimmers, but they walk slowly. Over to you, Avnish.
Thank you, Anushka. Wading birds. What do you mean by wading? Wading means walking in shallow water or in the mud without getting the body wet. Crane and jacana have long legs and wide spreading toes. These help them to walk in shallow water or mud. They can walk in the mud without getting their body wet. Scratching birds. Some birds like hen have strong feet with 3 toes in front and 1 at the back. Each toe has a sharp claw to scratch the ground in search of seeds, insects, worms, and many other insects present in the soil. Last but not the least, let us go to climbing birds. Climbing birds can cling to the trees. These birds have different kinds of claws from other birds. As we all know that every bird has 4 toes, 3 toes pointing forward and 1 toe pointing backward. But in climbing birds like woodpecker and parrot, 2 toes are pointing forward and 2 toes are pointing backward. Means 2 pointing upward and 2 downward. These birds can cling to the trees to catch the insect and hold the fruits. Now let us know some interesting facts about different types of birds. Do you know, friends, there are over 60 species of eagle. Their grip is up to 10 times stronger than humans. Their eyesight is 8 times stronger than humans. Some birds can mimic human speech, such as parrot. Do you know, friends, a parrot can speak more than 100 words. And the African grey parrot is the most talkative parrot, and it is very intelligent. It can talk up to 1,000 words. The ostrich has largest eyes of any land animals. Its eyes are bigger than its brain. It is a fast runner, but it can't fly as its body is weight. It can run up to 60 kilometers or more than. Penguins can jump so high as 9 feet, and they are also a good swimmer. Some birds sleep with one eye open. Example, duck. Now let us see a massive bird from the birds of prey, who is eagle. Historians believe that it never misses its target. Now let us see an interesting video how an eagle catches its prey.
That they can never see coming. The bald-headed eagle.
So friends, isn't it interesting? Before I conclude my topic, I want to say a great quote who's a still by the missile man, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The bird is powered by its own life and by its motivation. Friends, do you know what is the meaning of this thought? It means birds are self-motivated to survive. They fly over the sky in search of food. And that's the reason why the birds are powered by its own life and by its own motivation. Friends, we learn a beautiful lesson from birds. Can you guess that lesson? Yes, it is none other than self-motivation. We can motivate ourselves without any help or motivation from others. Thank you all and have a wonderful day ahead. If you have any queries, I am like to answer them.
Thank you so much, Shobnis, Anushka.
Thank you, sir.
It's a very nice presentation, well documented, and you have said about so many interesting facts. Thank you for enlightening us also. You have said about from your slide itself. Can you name an animal with largest eye?
Yes, sir. Ostrich.
Very good. Now you have said that some animals are having large claws. So why do eagle, vulture, and hawk they have large claws and all? Claws are there.
Remember, sir, but their wings are very big.
Wings are very big. Why do they have? What is predator, prey? You have said about predator and prey. What do you mean by that?
No, sir.
Eagle is a predator bird or it's a prey?
No, sir. It is a predator bird.
Predator bird. Can you name one of its prey?
Sir, like deer.
It can take the deer.
Yes, sir. Sir, I can also tell more species of eagle.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good presentation, both of you. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, children. I can say that beautiful morning with beautiful presentation. Everyone is very, very prepared. They're able to answer all the questions. Okay, let's move on to our next segment. Be like the honeybee who gathers nectar from every flower wherever it goes. Bees are nature's magician. The buzz of the bee is the voice of the garden. The relationship of the bee and the flowers is one of the most co-evolutionary relationships we have. Bees are the legs of the plants. They underline the reality that we are more, not less, dependent on nature's services. It's true that if we don't have buzz of the bees, we humans will freeze. So, next segment, we are going to witness an amazing session by a wonderful resource person we have, Sir Dr. V. Vadirinath, Reader F. Nicer. I welcome you, sir, to this podium. Let's know briefly about Sir. Sir is a project leader, German Cancer Research Center, DKFZ, Heidelberg, Germany, and he has worked there from 2007 to 2009. He has his postdoctoral fellow from German Cancer Research Center, DKFS, Heidelberg, Germany, in the year 2006. Sir has completed his PhD from University of Heidelberg, Germany, MTech, Biotech, Center for Biotechnology, Anna University, Chennai, India. Sir has also completed his B Pharma from Tamil Nadu, Dr. MGL Medical University, Chennai, India. Sir's teachings have been in the bioinformatics and computational biology in MSc and PhD, bioinformatics lab in MSc, principles of dog and design, then biology 2, cellular and genetic basis of life, and moreover in biochemistry. Let's know Sir's contribution, what way it has come back to him. So, awards of Sir, Mike Price Fellowship Award in the year 2009, jointly sponsored by the European Association for Cancer Research and the European Cancer Organization. Sir has also received Innovative Young Biotechnologist Award, IYBA, in 2012 from Department of Biotechnology, India. Sir is a proud recipient of ABAP Young Biotechnologist Award and Sri Edupaganti Venkateramaya and Srimati Padmavati Memorial Gold Medal from Association of Biotechnology and Pharmacy during September 2010. Last but not the least, Sir has received SAP Bioengineer Award in the year 2013 from Society for Applied Biotechnology, SABT, SABT, from India. Sir, we are honored and fortunate enough to have you in our campus. Hearty welcome you, sir. So children, it's amazing to have Sir here. Please put your hands together for Sir. because in the next segment, we are going to have some magical facts about honeybees from Sir. Sir, now it's your podium.
Okay. Yes. Sure. Okay. Thank you. This way. Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. And I also thank DAV organizing committee a lot for making this wonderful program for the students, which is very interesting. And I myself love giving such talks with the students because that becomes even more interactive, more useful, I feel, because the bright minds are very important for us. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Good morning, all, dear friends. Very nice. You had a good breakfast, I guess, today, right? Okay. Should we go with today's session? I will talk a little bit about something which most of you will learn in your class subjects and which you will all love eating also. So let me start. Do you identify this? What is this here? Correct. Very good. It's a hexagon, right? If I put many hexagons here, have you seen something of that sort in your daily life? One of you. Beehive, very good. So what is this here? It's a beehive. That's correct. Right answer. And now you see a bee and then you see a hive. And what does the beehive do? That's the house of a bee. It stores nectar and makes honey out of it. And that honey is what we eat every day in the morning, right? So today I will show you about the life of a bee, right? So here about honeybees. So a honeybee is a very fascinating insect because it's very unique. The characters and features it has, it doesn't exist in any other insects. Okay. For example, you see bees are social insects and live in group called as beehives. So it's not like only one insect, but they live in groups and they work in group. Therefore, it's called as a social insect. And there are 20,000 species of bees, but only honeybee can produce large enough amounts of honey and wax for human use. So although there are 20,000 different type of bees that exist, it's only the honeybee that has the capability to produce honey and wax for human purpose. And then bees, collectively, you call them as a swarm, right? So here, you would have seen a honeybee flying, right? What is the sound of the honeybee? Buzz. Where does it come from? From its wings. And do you know how many times it can strike? 11,400 times a minute. So imagine how fast it can flutter. We'll feel tired, isn't it? And then you can imagine how much energy it can bring to flutter those wings. It has to generate. Now, honeybee, where does it get the nectar from? From the flowers, right? So to make so much honey, how many flowers, and the honeybee is so small, how many flowers it has to visit? It has to visit 50 to 100. That's right. So it means one time it goes for a visit, it has to go to 50 to 100 flowers. It has to collect the nectar and it has to come back to the hive, right? And then to produce about half a kilo honey, what you see as a bottle at home, is coming from almost 25,000 trips, what the honeybee makes. And it has to visit 2 million. You know how much is 2 million? How many zeros are there in 2 million? Very good. So that many flowers it has to visit, and then it has to fly around 90,000 kilometers. It means that many trips, 90,000 kilometers it has to fly to get this much of honey to make it, right? And why do we need the honeybees? Is because the fruits and vegetables come from pollination. You know what is pollination? Right? And honeybees are important because they make up an important pollinating insect. Do we pollinate? We don't, right? But can we also help the flowers to pollinate? We can manually do it, right? Though different types of bees, birds, and even bats can pollinate, still honeybee are the most productive pollinators because they make so much visits between the plants and flowers. Therefore, they are very effective. And imagine they're traveling 90,000 kilometers, so they can help in a lot of cross-pollination, right? When conditions are ideal, a healthy hive can produce about 90 kilos of honey per year. It means that so much honey it can produce when the conditions are favorable, which means there is more flowers, more plants. And then if the weather is good, then it can make more trips, right? And then you get more honey, right? Now, beehive is the house of the bees itself. Let's know what is a beehive. A honey beehive is made up of wax, right? It is made up of wax. The bees shape in the wax into the comb with thousands of little containers called as cells. So each and every room, like you have a big apartment and there are small flats, right? So the beehive is big, and then that one particular cell, which I showed as a hexagon, is called as a cell, where one bee stays. The cells are sculpted to perfect hexagonal shape. Now, how does the hexagonal shape come? Do you know how the hexagonal shape comes? The shape of the hexagon is like that, but how does the shape is formed? How is the shape formed? Naturally, because when they put the wax, when they stay inside, keep going and coming out, a circle is formed. At the same time, on the side, it becomes a hexagon, right? So it is formed naturally. The cells provide storage for larvae, pollen, and honey as well in the beehive. The hive is like a giant nursery because you have all these larvae and pupae formed that will give rise to next generation of bees. And then they again fly off, they find a new place once again. It takes about 7 to 2 months for bees to make their honeycomb. For this honeycomb, it takes around 7 to 2 months. You would have seen in your house in different places, a honeycomb all of a sudden comes up, right? And then you have to put some fumigation to remove them, to put some, to get out the honeycomb. So one honeybee colony can have a population of 20,000 to 60,000 bees. So that many bees can stay inside a beehive. So then we saw the house of the honeybee. Now let's see how a honeybee, what are the different parts? So what are the parts of your body? What all you have? Hands, legs, head, right? Now here, these are the parts of a bee. You have a head, you have a thorax, and then you have an abdomen, right? And then here they have pair of antennae. You have 4 wings here, the wings that flutter, golden stripes, and 3 pairs of legs. And the color is black and yellow. Now the different parts you will see, the antenna is for feeling and smelling. So when it goes to the flower, it has to feel and smell. So they are very much sensitive to smells. So therefore, only that way they can find out whether there is some food nearby, right? Therefore, the antenna helps in that process. They have a compound eye. And you see, they have almost 7,000 lenses in their eye itself. In one eye has almost 7,000 lenses, and it has something called as a proboscis. Now, once they go to the flower, they have to take nectar and they need a straw for that. So this proboscis is going to help them to take out the honey. And in the process, from the flower, it is going to take out the pollen, because that is what is going to attach to something called as a pollen basket. You see the yellow mark here? So that is a pollen basket. While taking the honey, the pollens are going to stick to the pollen basket. And then when it goes to another flower, it is going to help in the pollination process, right? And here you have honey sac. Now here you see this honey sac here. When the nectar is taken in, the honey stays inside the honey sac for some time. And then when it goes back to the hive, it will release it there to make the honey inside the honey comb itself. Okay. Now this is the most dangerous part. Bees are good. Honey is tasty. But the worst part is something called as a stinger. Have you seen a stinger? How many of you got poked by a stinger? Was it hurting? Which bite was hurting? A bee stinger or a mosquito bite? Bee one, because they are longer and they are even more dangerous sometimes. Okay, the stinger is only found in female honeybees. The worker bee's stinger is used for defense purpose. Now, in case somebody gets, it's good not to go close to a honeybee or a beehive. But in case by chance you get stinged, what you need to do is you have to be calm and then you try not to squeeze it, right? And then squeezing the bee could squeeze the contents of the venom sac into you all at once. Because the honeybee has in the stinger, there is some poisonous material. In case you are pricking them back, it will get into your blood. It's a danger. So then it's better to scrape off the stinger as close as possible to the skin. So better would be to go to your parents or somebody nearby adults and tell them about it so that they can help you removing the stinger from your site. The quicker the stinger is removed, the less venom will be injected, right? So don't try to poke it inside or take it on your own, but go to somebody who can help you in taking it. Okay. Yeah. Now let's see the life cycle of a honeybee. So as you know, for you also, you are in a fetus, you are a small child, then you grow up, you become an adult. Similarly, honeybee has 4 distinct cycles. It starts with an egg, it becomes a larva, then a pupa, and then an adult. The queen lays eggs in different cell of a honeycomb, which means every cell will have one larvae inside it, and the queen bee lays the egg. Here you see this white spot here. This is a cell in the honey comb, and this is the larvae that the queen has laid as an egg. So after 3 days, the egg hatches and a worm-like creature called a larva crawls out. You see this white creature? So that is called as a larva. Worker bee feed on the larva royal jelly. Now the larva is hungry, so it needs food. So therefore, each and every cell has something called as a royal jelly. So it's feed on the jelly to grow up. On day 9, the larva spins itself a cocoon, and the worker bee seals the cocoon into a beeswax. So you see this kind of, it has this kind of a structure. Inside the cocoon, the larva transforms into a pupa. So this is how the pupa is formed. Developing eyes and wings. You see, this is the eye, and the wings will not be very clearly seen now. Only the next stage you will see it. Now you see the eyes here, and the body is distinct. Previously, it was looking like a small worm. Now you see that it is very distinct. Okay. Now here it becomes an adult fly. When the bee is fully grown, it chews its way out of the cell and emerges as an adult. Now the entire body parts are grown up. Now it's ready to fly, to take a ride, to take a trip to collect nectar. Now, who are the members of the bee, their family? There is a queen, there is a worker bee, and there is a drone. How can you identify a queen is based on the size. The queen is the largest, right? The queen is the largest. And the queen is the one that is going to lay the eggs. And there is always only one queen bee for one honeycomb, right? And there are worker bees. You see the size differences. And the worker bee you can distinguish because for the worker bee and the queen bee, the eyes are smaller compared to the drone bee itself. You see the drone has a bigger eye size. It almost covers the head itself completely. So that's how you can identify different type of bees in their own status. Now, all of them stay in the same honeycomb itself. Now, what about queens? Can lay about 1,500 eggs a day during spring, build up more than their body weight in eggs daily. The queen can control the sex of their eggs by selectively fertilizing them through a process of their oviduct. The fertilized eggs hatch into female workers, and one among them emerge as a queen bee. And if there are more than one queen bee, then one of the queen bee will move to another place along with some of the worker bees taking them along with them. The unfertilized eggs hatch into male drones. So the next class is called as the workers. The workers perform the daily task to maintain the hive. So they are the one involved in maintaining the hive, which means they're going to do the job of building the comb, guarding the hive, and finally leaving the hive to scout for in search of food. Now the young workers or nurse bees produce royal jelly and they feed all the larvae. It means that these worker bees stay in the hive, they prepare food, and then they serve the other offsprings, the larvae and the pupa that are coming, they're going to serve them food there. Some worker larvae are fed exclusively with royal jelly, which morphs them into new queens. So the royal jelly is the one that decides the queen bee. Okay. So here the third class is called drones. So what did I say? Drones, what is special about drones? The eyes are big, right? That's right. So, and they do not go for food. They only defend the hive. They have no stingers. Their sole purpose is to mate with the queen. Okay, now what is interesting? The dance language of the bees is called as a waggle dance. Have you heard of waggle dance? Why do they do it? Because now the bees first fly in one direction. They fly in one direction and then they come back to the hive and then they say, now I saw some food somewhere, right? I saw food somewhere. There is so much amount of food, but they cannot speak, right? They don't have a language to communicate. So that language of communication, they do it through this dance, and that is called as a waggle dance. Now, the message it has to give to the other members of the bees is that it has to say in what direction we have to go for food and then how much food is available. So that they show it through this dance. It means, let's say a beehive is here, a flower is here, then it, with respect to the sun, based on the sun position, it starts dancing in this line to say this is the direction we have to fly so that we can find food. And then it has to say how much is present. So therefore, more the number of dance movement it does, which means that there is more amount of food. So accordingly, it is going to dance for that long time. And then this is called as the waggle dance, right? How many of you seen a waggle dance? Can somebody show me how the dance is? Okay. Now, how is the honey made? So you got nectar. You got nectar from the flowers. Now it has to be converted into honey. So what are the steps it follows? So here the bees first fly to the direction. It goes to the site. It goes to the flowers. It collects nectar. It takes the nectar to the cells. and then they mix up some chemicals in the nectar and they put them inside the cells. And now the wings, I told you, it can flutter very fast, almost like 10,000, I told you, right? Now at that pace, fast, it is going to flutter. It means that it's going to remove some water, and most of the beehives face the sun so that some water is removed. And that is how the water is being evaporated. And finally, you get what is called as honey, right? Normal vegetables, if they are just outside, they get spoiled very easily. But honey doesn't get spoiled for months and years also sometimes, right? Because it has less water content inside. Now, how do they take nectar from the flowers? Bees add chemicals to the nectar from the glands inside their head. So it means that it is going to first put some chemicals into the nectar. These chemicals change the nectar sugars to honey sugar. They do a conversion process. Have you tried at home? If you take sugar and then put it on a pan and then mix it for some time, what will happen? What will be the color? Brown. Do you know the name of that sugar now? It's called? No, it's called caramel. Right? Because that sugar, when you heat it, it becomes caramel. It is much more tastier. Right? So then later bees fan them with their wings. This dries up mostly the water, leaving the honey thick. That's why you get a thick honey and that is sticky and extra sweet. I will not go into all these details because you are still young. But then I thought I should include that part, is just to say that when you are seeing something around you, you have to observe. Now, beehives, you got this much information about queen, drone, worker, the life cycle, how it brings honey, how it stores honey, is because somebody has studied it. Somebody understood it. And they also saw what is the purpose of having a honeybee. This is to understand the nature around us. So do we need honeybees or not? We need them, right? Let's see in more detail. This you will understand as you grow up. This part you will understand as you grow up, okay? Now, what about honey? Can we eat honey? Yes, because it has a lot of nutritional benefits. And then it has a lot of contents that is going to help you in sore throat. Next time when you have a sore throat, your voice is not coming out, take 1 spoon of honey, just directly take it, and then your sore throat will be clear, right? It is used for skincare and maintenance. You will see many soaps, they say it contains honey. Many creams also, they say honey, right? So in that way, it's going to help. Even if there is a boil, you got a burn, you apply a little bit of honey on top of it, then your irritation will be reduced. The amount of heat it generates. It is a sweetener as such. It's a healthy sweetener. Now, we saw only honey. What about the comb, which is made up of wax? So is that useful? Yes, there are health benefits from the beeswax. So where does the beeswax come? It comes from the wax glands. It means the wax glands are produced by the worker bee. You see on the lower abdomen. And that is what it secretes and makes these cells inside the beehive. And that is called as a beeswax. This is again used for enhancing the skin, moisturize. It can protect the liver. And then they are also used for making candles, the wax candles. They are used for that purpose. Okay, now you see the type of flowers it can go across. You see, these are some of the flowers which can go, which are bright in color. Now, why do the flowers have bright colors? Do you know the flowers have bright colors, right? You like this? Why do they have bright colors? Because of sunlight, but why do they produce the bright color? Because they are it is not because of nectar, but they have that bright color they produce so that they attract the insect. Because of the bright color, the insect sees the flower it goes to it and it produces nectar. And when the nectar is taken by the bee, it takes the pollen along with it and goes to another flower, right? That is why the bright colors are produced. Okay, to make it attractive for the insects, right? Yeah, now honey also you can get in different colors. What we normally see is a brown color, but you can get different shades of honey also depending upon the flower it is going. Maybe nearby there is a particular flower. It produces a type of nectar which is more light in color. Then you get something like this. If there is a flowers more in number which is producing dark colored honey, you get dark colored. Many times you'll get it mixed also. That's also quite possible. So here would be the different shades you might get depending upon the type of honey you have. Okay. Finally, I summarize. Honeybees are extremely hard-working, wonderful insects, which I already said how much it has to travel. They are tiny creatures with even tinier brains, but they live in very orderly, structured society where you see different people take the different responsibilities and maintain them. They are an inspiration for social living, hard work, and dedication. And they are very helpful living creatures of nature, right? They're helpful for us in many means. Now, this is only just a small bit of information to you all. So it was this person, you see, 20th May 2022, 20th May 2023 is observed as a World Bee Day. Now, why they made World Bee Day is because to raise awareness of the importance of bees as pollinators, because without pollination, we won't get food, right? The threats they face and their contribution to sustainable development. This year, which means in 2022, is Bee Engaged, celebrating the diversity of bees and beekeeping systems. It was this person who identified this importance of the bees. And then he came up with the importance, saying that how they are in nature and for us. That is why his birthday is celebrated as a Bee Day as such. Right? Is that clear? Yeah. A wasp is a kind of an insect that doesn't help in pollination, but they have a characteristics of a bee, honeybee itself. It doesn't have the honey sac, right? And they don't have a stinger as such. And they don't pollinate too much compared to the honeybee itself. Is the comb? The comb, it has more of wax inside. You can eat in small bits, but you cannot have too much. A little bit of it is better, but honey is even better. Little bit of beeswax is also good. Little bit.
What is royal jelly?
Royal jelly is something is prepared by the worker bee. The nectar what they get is what they prepare it as a royal jelly. There are some extra constituents they have, and they say that royal jelly is the one that is going to help in determining the queen bee itself.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So, what is the difference between royal jelly and honey?
Royal jelly is more in a, they have a more specialized preparation which is given in the early stages of the life cycle, like in the pupa and the larvae stage, they give the royal jelly. But honey is more, they're kept longer period of time. Yeah?
So, where does the queen bees live?
They live in the honey beehive itself.
Sir, you have said that the worker bees and other bees live in combs. So, where the queen bees live?
Yes, they all live together. They have individual cells.
Oh.
The queen bee also stays along with them.
Children, all are requested to sit in your place first. Sit in your place. Only two to three questions will take last.
For how many days does a honeybee survive?
For how many days?
Or how many months?
Almost 2 months.
Okay, sir.
2 to
thank
3
you.
months they can stay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, how can we know that a worker bee is a male or female?
Worker bee, male or female? Okay. So in a worker bee, worker bee is always a female.
Okay, sir.
Drones are males.
Okay, sir.
And the
Thank
queen
you,
bee
sir.
is longer. Female, longer.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how was the royal jelly made of?
Royal jelly is coming from a special preparation. Nobody knows the details about what the royal jelly contains as such. Because they only see that they feed on the royal jelly, the queen comes out, but they really don't know what it contains.
Sir, so I just wanted to know what is the importance of the wasp?
What is the importance of
The wasp.
wasp?
Yes.
Wasp as such, we don't have any great importance as of now. It is just that they are important in nature. They maybe in some food chain they are responsible, but as such they don't produce anything for a human purpose. For a human purpose, they don't produce anything. Indirectly, they might help in a little bit of pollination. That's it.
Sir, where can we find a honeycomb?
Where can you find a honeycomb? Mostly you will find most of the high-rise buildings in the northeast direction. And especially if there is more food, more flowers available, then you will find a honeycomb for sure there. In forest, you will find honeycomb everywhere, almost everywhere. There is no specific location for that. In forest, you find it more.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, should we take any more questions or?
I'm happy. I don't mind. But if there is a time constraint for you, you can go ahead. I don't have problems.
Last two questions.
Yeah.
Sir, why is sweet?
Why is sweet sweet? Yeah, very good question. Why is the honey sweet? Very good question. We feel the sweet is because our tongues have the taste buds. Maybe if you give it to somebody else, they may not feel the taste. Because of the taste buds, we feel the taste. So that is why it is sweet.
Sir?
Maybe in your higher classes or now, you would have studied about different parts of your tongue where it is meant for sour, bitter, and sweet taste. That is what the taste buds are about.
Excuse me, sir. You told about the different shades of honey.
Yeah.
What does it do and does it taste different?
Yes, they do taste. Some of them will have a very strong taste. Okay. And some of them will be tasting very mild. Right? There's a taste difference, of course.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So children all are requested to sit in your place. We are having little bit of time constraint. So we'll stop here. Thank you so much, sir, for giving such nice answer to all the queries of the young minds.
And thank you all so much.
Sir.
It's very wonderful interacting and you all ask beautiful questions. That's wonderful. That's nice about it.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative and educative session. Your detailed information about beehive, life stages of bee, benefits of honey, how do they extract honey from the flowers, and why are flowers so bright? All these information will really guide our tiny toads to accomplish their study on honeybee. If any chapter they're studying, will really guide them. Your words of wisdom has definitely radiated a source of energy among all of us. Thank you, sir, for your patience to answer the queries of our tiny toads. I hope our tiny toads have got a power-packed guidance through it. Thank you, sir, once again. Sir, you're requested to take your seat. So I hope children, if you like sir's session, once again, stand and clap for sir. Stand and clap for sir. That's really amazing for an amazing resource person who is here in spite of his busy schedule. Thank you, sir. Please be seated. Okay, children, thank you. Thank you, children. Please take your seats. Thank you, children. Please take your seats. Did you understand, children, what Shah told all of you? Yes, that is understood because the kind of question you put to sir was really amazing. That showed that you were attentively listening to him. Thank you, sir.
Hello, 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 hello.
Now, children, we will resume with the science seminar. Now, children's turn. Dear children, kindly take over.
Hello. Hello.
The next participants for the seminar are Ananya and Aradhya from 4A.
Very good morning, respected judges and my dear friends. I am Aradhya Priyanka Das, roll number 7 of Standard 4, Section A.
I am Ananya, roll number 5 of Standard 4, Section A.
So, a science seminar 2022 is going to conduct in our school, DAV Public School, Chandrasekharpur. And our topic is Bird Sanctuaries of Odisha.
Do you know what is bird sanctuaries? A bird reserve is a wildlife refuge designed to protect bird species. Like other wildlife refuges, the main goal of a reserve is to prevent species from becoming endangered or extinct. Typically, bird species in a reserve are protected from hunting and habitat destruction.
So, the second question arises, why it is called or named as bird sanctuary? Bird sanctuaries in India are built to protect different species of birds. They are natural accommodation for the conservation of various species and their habitats. It is important for the survival of these birds.
Aradhya, do you know how many bird sanctuaries are there in Odisha?
Yes, of course. Totally, there are 4 sanctuaries of birds in Odisha. Number 1, Chilika Bird Sanctuary. Number 2, Mangalachudi Bird Sanctuary. Number 3, Mittarakanika Bird Sanctuary. And at last, it is Narabana Bird Sanctuary.
So the first one is about Chilika Bird Sanctuary. It is Chilika as declared as sanctuary on 1973. It spreads over 1,165 square kilometers. It is the largest coastal lagoon in India and the largest brackish lagoon in the whole world. It attracts over 150 migratory birds every year. Chilika Lake has 37 species of reptiles and amphibians present, and also many species of flora which thrive in brackish waters.
So, the second is Mangalachudi Bird Sanctuary. Mangalachudi Bird Sanctuary declared as a sanctuary on 1987. It covers around 10 square kilometers. This village is not only famous as a birding destination or ecotourism, but also ritual performance of villagers. Many occasions and festivals are celebrated in Mangalajodi.
So the third one is about Vitarkanika Bird Sanctuary. Vitarkanika National Park is 145 square kilometer large national park in northeast Andhra Pradesh state in Odisha in eastern India. It was designated on 16 September 1998 and obtained the status of a Ramsar site on 19 August 2002. The area is also been designated as second Ramsar site of the state after the Chilika Lake. Bhagavan Bird Sanctuary is located inside the Vitarkanika National Park.
So, the last one is Nalaban Bird Sanctuary. Nalaban covers around 15.52 square kilometer. Nalaban got the status of a sanctuary in 1987. It is situated in the heart of Chilika. It is a prime refuge point for thousands of resident and migratory birds and specially act as a treat for the birds watchers during winter season. No fruits, no birds, no beautiful songs. Without trees, we cannot live for long. So we must save trees and plant trees. Thank you.
Thank you, dear children. It was really beautiful presentation by all of you, both of you. Thank you both. So, audience, now I will only allow only 2 children to ask any question from 2 groups, from 2 questions.
How many sanctuaries are there in India?
Totally there are 4 bird sanctuary. Number 1 Chilika Bird Sanctuary.
In India.
Nalaban Bird Sanctuary.
Nalaban Bird Sanctuary.
Nalaban Bird Sanctuary.
Okay, thank you. Next question. There are how many sanctuaries in India?
4 sanctuaries. Sorry, 1.
One. Odisha Chanta. India got a Nalaban Bird Sanctuary.
I can see there are more hands been raised. Another last question I will take up.
What do you mean by a birding destination?
Birding destination means a place where lots of birds live.
Thank you so much. Let's give for them a big round of applause. Big round of applause for these 2 children. I request our resource person, Sir Dr. V. Badrinath, along with our academic supervisor, Madam Kitty Kamanti, to be on the stage. Madam, please escort Sir to stage. Dear children, we must be thankful to such a wonderful resource person who enlighten us with his expertise. Here, a moment comes, a token of gratitude to be offered by our academic supervisor to Sir. A token of gratitude from all of us. On behalf of Team Devi, I request Madam to offer a token of gratitude to Sir. Prasanna Sir, kindly join. Science department teachers, kindly come up to the stage. Science department teachers, along with Sabadika Sir, please come. Rosmi ma'am, and Snigdha ma'am, Reshma ma'am, along with Sabaditya sir. Yes, children, it's a moment to cherish. So, in the form of gratitude, we have Uttariya for sir, a school painting by our children, and here is the school magazine presented by Rosmi ma'am, And there is a plant for Sir to nurture. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'ams.
Hello, we resume students' presentation on neighbors with feathers.
And dear children, kindly take over.
Miss Amy.
Here we shall resume with the presentation on neighbors with feathers. And children, I request you to take over.
Now, let's invite Ritisha and Aimi from 4F.
Children, please maintain
Dear
silence.
children.
Sit quietly.
Dear
All
children,
of you sit down. Sit down, children.
dear children, let's witness the presentation of Vidisha and Ivy from Standard 4E. Dear children, have patience and please go through the presentation.
Respected teachers and my dear friends, I am Pritisha Tripathi.
And I am Amy Asma Kendo. We are from class 4E.
And we are going to present a PowerPoint presentation on the occasion of the 3rd Children's Science Conclave 2022 on the theme of Neighbors with Feathers.
Sub-theme, bird beaks.
So let us start. My dear friends, did you ever wonder why there are so many types of bird beaks? The most important function of a bird beak is feeding, and it is shaped according to what a bird eats. Birds are a class of vertebrates with more than 18,000 different species. They all have various features, but the most common feature is their beak. All birds have one beak. The function of their beak is for feeding themselves and their young ones, defending themselves, grooming their feathers, regulating their body temperature, and for building nests.
Generally, bird beaks are categorized according to their shape and function. There are several different kinds of bird beaks.
First, let us see a cone-shaped bird beak. A cone-shaped bird beak is mainly found in goldfinches and grosbeaks. It is a strong beak used for cracking nuts and seeds.
Now, let us see chisel-shaped beak. Woodpecker, bee-eater, robin have strong beak which taper to the tip, forming chisel for pecking holes in trees for food or nest. Most feed on insects which live under the bark.
Now, let us move on to tubular beak. Hummingbirds have long tubular beak which resemble straws, and they use these long tubular beaks to suck nectar out of flowers.
Now, let us see tooth-like beak. Mergansers specialized for eating fish have sharp tooth-like structures on the edge of the beak to hold the fish tightly.
Let us see a hooked beak now. Hawks, owls, eagles, and other birds of prey which catch and kill live prey have sharp hooked beaks. They are usually meat eaters.
Multifunctional beaks. A toucan's beak is not just for show. This multi-purpose appendage can be used to collect and skin fruit, frighten predators, and defend territory. Recent research has also shown that it also helps to keep the bird cool in the heat of tropical day.
Now, let us see a fixed beak. Pelicans and seagulls consume enormous amounts of fish. Their beak is large with a capacious cooler pouch of extensile skin which is attached to the lower mandible. It serves as a fishing net.
Now, friends, don't you think this is time for a summary? Beaks are conical, pointed, and chiseled. Beaks are tubular, hook-like, and tooth-like, and hooked. Beaks are even frightened. But the most important thing about bird beaks are they have adapted to correspond to the type of food the bird eats. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
Any questions?
Very nice. You hear me? You hear me? Is it audible?
Sir?
It's audible?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Very nice presentation, kids. It was nice to hear about the different collection and the way you organize the slides. So why do the beaks different for nut eating and flesh eating birds?
Sir, I could not hear. Can you please repeat?
What is the need for these different types of beaks? Why do the birds have different types of beaks?
They have different types of beaks because they live in different regions and they cannot all have the same type of food in one region and live in the same region, because then all the food will just run out and they will all die. So they live in different regions with different kinds of beaks. And after thousands of years, the beaks have changed. This is called divergent evolution.
Divergent.
Because of divergent evolution.
So if a bird is eating fish, what type of beak will they have?
They can have tooth-like fish and also a
Yes.
flat beak.
Okay, good.
Or pushable.
They have a longer beak, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Very well presented.
Okay, I think Pritisa and Ivy, very nice presentation. Just one question, very simple. Can you name the similar structure as that of beak in birds? It is present in human beings.
What, sir?
I've said name the similar structure present in human beings as that of beak in birds.
Human bills.
You could not get, I think. For example, you are saying birds are having beak. I am saying just name the similar structure that is present in human beings as that of beak in birds. They do have same function.
Sir,
Beaks are modified.
yes,
You could,
sir.
yes, that is the answer. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
one. Good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, children.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Very good.
Thank you both. Next, please welcome Sai Smita from 4C.
Children, please maintain silence, all of you. Please maintain silence and sit in your place. Nobody will get up. Nobody will stand. All sit down.
Good morning, all of you present over here. I, Sai Smita Das of Class 4C. Today, I'm here to discuss about a topic, bird sanctuary. And my theme is neighborhood with feathers. Let us start with some contents. Introduction, meaning of bird sanctuaries, importance of bird sanctuary in Odisha. Benefits of bird sanctuary, bird species found in Odisha. First, introduction. Bird sanctuary are referred to as snow hunting areas. Bird sanctuary are home for various types of birds. These are the places where we can find birds in plenty. Meaning of bird sanctuary. A bird sanctuary is an area of a land where the birds are protected and are facilitated to their breeds. In India as well as Odisha, all the bird sanctuaries are owned by the government. There are total 12 bird sanctuaries in Odisha. Importance of bird sanctuary. First, protect the birds. We already know that the bird sanctuaries are referred to as no hunting areas. Next, provide natural facilities. Birds need freedom to fly in open areas. They can eat the insects and fruits over there. Conservation of different species of the birds. Due to climate change and hunting of birds, some species have already become extinct. So we have to conserve them for our future generation and a good environment. Types of bird sanctuary in Odisha. There are two types of bird sanctuary. First, forest-based. The bird sanctuary which is situated in the forest areas. Let us go some examples. Similipal National Park, it is in Mayurbhanj. Baisipali Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in Nayagar. Debrigad Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in Badgar. Badrama Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in Sambalpur. Last, Karalapat Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in Kalahandi. Water body based. It means the bird sanctuary which is located near a lake, river, sea, but not in any forest areas. The examples, Chilika Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in Khurda. Bhitarkanika National Park, it is in Kendrapara. Hadagar Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in Kemthar. Gahirmatha Marine Sanctuary, it is in Kendrapada. Lakhariwali Sanctuary, it is in Ganjam. Konark Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in Konark Road, Mohanipur. Benefits of the bird sanctuary to help in controlling the population of different insects and pets. The birds eat the different insects and the pets. Prompt tourism and prompt ecosystem. People visit these kind of places every year for their enjoyment. Chilika, one of the bird sanctuary of Odisha, is also known as a lagoon. Do you know why Chilika Lake is known as lagoon? Because it is a shallow body of water, of brackish water, separated from a larger body of water. Chilika Lake is situated on the east coast of India and Odisha and is separated from the Bay of Bengal by a small strip of land. It covers an area of around 1100 square kilometers. Nalaban, Birds Islands, Krishna Prasad, Sumolo, and Kalitai are some of the prominent islands in the lagoon. The Salt Lake is home to millions of migratory birds and endangered plants and animals. Nalaban Island and Chilika Lake Bird Sanctuary were protected under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The best time to visit Chilika Lake is during winter, as nearly 225 bird species graze the lagoon during that period. Migratory birds from Siberia, northern Russia, Kazakhstan, remote area of Russia, Caspian region, neighboring countries, and Lake Baikal visit this lake every year and return before summer. Species of birds in Chilika. Nearly 9 lakh birds of 225 species visit Chilika in winter season. Few of the names as follows: the white-billed sea eagles, the grey-lag geese, the purple moorhen, the herons, and the northern pintails. Another bird sanctuary of Odisha is in Kendrapara. This sanctuary is important for different species of the birds like kingfisher and the mangrove whistler. Father of Bird Sanctuary, Salim Ali, an Indian ornithologist and naturalist, is referred as Birdman of India. Thank you all of you and have a nice day ahead.
Okay, Sai Smita, thank you very much for an informative presentation.
Thank you, sir.
It was nice, very informative. Only one question. You said about sanctuary. What is a sanctuary?
Sir, sanctuary is the area of a land where the birds are protected and are facilitated to their breed. And in India as well as Odisha, all the bird sanctuaries are owned by the government. There are total 12 bird sanctuaries in Odisha.
Only birds are protected or animals and plants are also protected?
Ma'am, sir, actually animals and birds, animals and plants are also protected there.
Can you name a sanctuary which is specific for conservation and protection of birds only in Odisha?
So can you repeat the question?
Name the sanctuary which is specific for protection and conservation of only birds in Odisha.
So that I know.
You are talking about that only.
So,
Just towards the end of your slide, you have said about the
Bhitar
sanctuary.
Karnika.
Only it is specific for birds conservation.
So Bhitar Karnika.
That is for you already know crocodile and all. You have said Chilika, Nolavana Wildlife Sanctuary. That is specific for birds.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Just take it.
Children, please maintain silence. Children, so many children are standing. Please sit down. Sit down.
Thank you, Sai. Thank you, Sai Smita. What a wonderful presentation it was. Now, let's welcome Ahana and Shubhangi from 4F.
All the best.
Hello.
Hello. Any problem you will tell, I will hear. Just children, All are required to sit quietly. Sit down. Sit down.
Respected teacher and my dear friends, I am Ahana Dash from class 4F. I am Shubhangi Sahu from class 4F. Our seminar theme is Neighbors with Feathers. And we are going to present on the topic Bird Sanctuaries of Odisha. Birds are the glory of our nature. They have ecological value as important elements in our natural system. Birds are the only animals with feathers. But friends, our feathery neighbors are in danger. So they need to be protected and be taken care of. A bird sanctuary is an area of land in which birds are protected and encouraged to breed. Like other animals, the main goal of bird sanctuary is to prevent species from becoming endangered or extinct. Bird species in a sanctuary are protected from hunting and habitat destruction. They also serve as excellent location for bird watching. The bird sanctuary in Odisha are in Nalabana and inside the Brigad Wildlife Sanctuary. Nalabana Wildlife Sanctuary. Nalabana Bird Sanctuary or Nalabana Island is the core area of Ramsar designated wetlands of Chilica Lake. It was declared a bird sanctuary under the Wildlife Protection Act in 1972. In the heart of the park, one can see thousands of birds descending during the migratory season. Nalabana means a weed-covered island in the Odia language. It is in the center of the lake and covers up a total area of 15.53 square kilometer, which is also known as 6.00 square miles. The lakes get completely submerged during the monsoon season. In winter season, the lake levels decrease and the island is gradually exposed to birds. Birds flock to the island in large numbers to feed on its extensive mud flats. Grey herons, purple herons, egrets, spoonbills, storks, and black-headed ibis. Many species of birds live in the sanctuary, including rare birds. Rare birds reported in the lake are Dalmatian pelican, Pallas fish eagle, the very rare migrant spoon-billed sandpiper, and spot-billed pelican. The white-bellied sea eagle, periokite, brahmini kite, kestrel are among the raptors seen here. Nesting colonies of gull-billed terns and river terns are seen on the Nalabana Island. In 2002, the Bombay Natural History Society survey recorded 540 nests of the Indian river tern at the island, the largest nesting colony in the Southeast Asia. important bird area inside the Debragad Wildlife Sanctuary. The Debragad Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the Bargarh district in the Indian state of Odisha. It covers up a total land area of 346.91 square kilometers. It is situated near the city of Sambalpur's Hirakud Dam. The Debragad Wildlife Sanctuary is an important location for conservation of various local wildlife and their habitat. It is an home to a large variety of flora and fauna. Over 200 species of birds along with mammals, reptiles, amphibians, fishes and butterflies are found living in the sanctuary. It is one of the few selected sanctuaries in the state which support both terrestrial and aquatic biodiversity. This further attracts a significant number of migratory waterfowls during winter.
Do you know why sanctuaries are important? The wildlife sanctuary is a protected area where poaching, killing and capturing of wild animals is strictly prohibited. Any human activity which disturbs the wild animals and the plants or their habitat is also not allowed. So animals and plants live in the natural environment where they are protected from any interference. This is why sanctuaries are important.
Humans have exploited birds since a very long time now, and sometimes the exploitation has resulted in extinction. So, how can we make the environment better for birds, Shubhangi?
Sure, Ahana. Their well-being is our well-being. So, halting deforestation and the use of toxic pesticides are two of the most important steps we can take toward saving bird population.
I suppose I've done my bit.
It's now up to you, younger people.
By Dr. Salim Ali,
the Birdman of India.
And special thanks to our respected Rashmi Rekha Pradhan ma'am for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
Subhangi, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Very good, very fluent presentation, confident.
Thank you, sir.
You talked about sanctuary. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is a sanctuary?
Sir, it is a protected area where birds are protected and also the wild animals are protected and the plants are also protected and they are encouraged to breed.
Can you name two specific birds of Nalavana Wildlife Sanctuary, Chilka?
Sir, actually, Nalavana Bird Sanctuary, there is a watchtower to see the birds, which is known as the Mangala Jodi Birds Tower, and Nalavana Wildlife Sanctuary provides the appropriate atmosphere for the birds to grow. Yes, sir.
What is the difference between National Park and Sanctuary?
Sir, actually in national parks, I think all the animals are protected, but in the bird sanctuaries, only like birds are protected, and in some national parks or sanctuaries, like the Debragad Wildlife Sanctuary, animals are protected, but there is a specific bird area for the birds there. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Chalo. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Hannah and Shubhangi, for the wonderful presentation. Next, I would like to call Sagat Kumar Nayak from 5D.
Good morning, everybody, respected teachers, judges, and all my dear friends. I am Shovit Kumar Nayak from Standard 5, Section D, DAV Public School, Chandrasekharpur. I am here to present the topic birds, our neighbors with feathers. My sub-theme is brood parasitism. Subject, brood parasitism. Now, a question comes to our mind. What exactly is brood parasitism? Brood parasitism is the breeding strategy in which the brood parasite female evades all parental care and investment in their offspring by laying their eggs in another species nest so that they can raise for their offspring. The examples of brood parasitic birds are Asian cuckoo, European cuckoo, ducks, and many species of waterfowl. There are two main types of brood parasitism. The two main types of brood parasitism are conspecific brood parasitism and interspecific brood parasitism. Now we will see more in detail about these two types. Conspecific brood parasitism. In conspecific brood parasitism, also known as CBP, parasitic females lay eggs in the nests of other females which are related or the same species. This is particularly common in ducks and waterfowls, which differ from most birds in that female return they lay eggs in the birds of related species like other ducks, providing keen cooperation among the birds. Interspecific brood parasitism. In interspecific brood parasitism, the female bird evades all parental care by laying eggs in the birds of an unrelated host, such as the cuckoos and other birds. Defense of other birds and hosts against brood parasitism. There are very few birds which can actually defend against brood parasitism of other birds like the cuckoo. Due to this, the host has to actually recognize between the parasite egg and the host's egg. Thus, rejection behavior has been facilitated by visual differences where the host relies on color and pattern cues to observe whether the egg is a host or a parasite. Egg mimicry. The parasitic cuckoos lay eggs in the nest of other birds. Due to the egg mimicry, the cuckoos and other parasitic birds have evolved a strategy where their eggs resemble their host's eggs. This occurs most commonly as the host cannot differentiate between the parasite egg and its own eggs. The host is also at risk of destroying its own eggs due to the parasite's egg. Adaptations for brood parasitism. Among specialist avian brood parasites, mimetic eggs are a nearly universal adaptation. The generalist brown-headed cowbird may have evolved an egg coloration that is similar to its host species or many host species. The many birds like cuckoo have a resemblance to raptors like the falcon, so they may scare off the host before laying an egg in their nest. Defense against brood parasitism. Many hosts act aggressively and remove the brood parasite. The best strategy is to avoid parasitism in the first place. This can take several forms such as egg rejection, recognition of the parasite eggs, and aggression towards parasite birds. Some birds, like the super fairy wren, teach their chicks a special song. This special song is only known by the chicks. If a chick or a parasite cannot repeat the song, they will be identified as a brood parasite and will be ejected out of the nest. Once a parasite's eggs has arrived in a host's nest, the best optimal defense is to eject the egg. This requires the host to distinguish which eggs are not theirs and which eggs belong to the parasitic bird. A host might also damage their own eggs when an egg is mimetic while trying to reject a parasite egg. We can see that the parasites from this chart that the parasites also decrease the host's egg by ejecting them out of the nest. Brood parasites are either unable to take care of the offspring or are not interested in investing in them. This is all we learned about brood parasites and how they're competing with their hosts and raise their chicks without any investment. They are always looking for their benefits and how to reproduce in faster and more efficient ways. Hope you found this interesting and educating. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Savit, for informative
Thank you, sir.
presentation. You talked about brood parasitism. What
Yes,
is
sir.
parasitism?
Yes.
What is a parasite? Can you say?
Yes, sir. Sir, parasitism is when an organism infects a host for its own benefits.
Okay.
Sir, here the
So what are
birds-
the
Yes,
benefits the parasite gets?
Sir, the benefits of parasitism are to the parasite which without any investment can get its work done.
It gets shelter, nutrition, it gets at
Yes,
the
sir.
same time cause damage
Yes,
in the host.
Yes, sir.
What is brood parasitism?
Sir, brood parasitism is the parasitism found in birds. It can also be found in other animals. When here the birds lay their own eggs in the nest of other host species so that they don't have to invest in laying their eggs and taking care of them.
One of the example you give, one of the example is
Yes,
cuckoo,
sir.
coil.
Example is the Asian coil, the African European cuckoo, and some species of waterfowl.
Cuckoo lays its egg in the nest of crow.
Yes, sir.
But how the crow is unable to recognize the egg
Sir,
of the...
Sir, I've talked about egg mimicry. Sir, where there are mimetic eggs and evolution has made the eggs mimetic, so the parasite cannot, so the host cannot differentiate between its own eggs and the parasite's eggs.
Because it will be same in size, color.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Now, I would like to invite Sohan Sudeep and Anupam Rat from 5D.
Hello.
Good morning to all.
Respected teachers and my dear friends. I am Anupam Raj from Standard 5 Section D.
And I am Sohan Sudeep Hansda of Standard 5 Section D.
And today we are here to present a PowerPoint presentation on the topic that is
Role of birds in nature.
So let's start.
So the contents are introduction to birds, role of birds in nature, and the conclusion.
Introduction to birds. Birds are very magnificent creatures and are full of grace and beauty. They are a huge source of many inspirations. Birds also nurture the environment and are very important for the ecosystem. The diversity and variety of birds found in almost every habitat on Earth is a scientific marvel. So in this presentation, we will see how the birds contribute to the nature. So let's start.
Role of birds in nature. Birds are very important and play a vital role in our ecosystem. Here are the some points about how they contribute. Bird droppings. Bird droppings consist of many nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, which are beneficial in the growth of plants. These nutrients make great fertilizers as they increase the quality of soil and the water holding capacity. Large number of birds nest in Greenland in summer and they drop around 3,500 tons of nitrogen from the ocean onto the land. This helps the Arctic flora and helps the grazing animals in that touch habitat. Pest controlling. Birds help in pest controlling. According to studies, birds reduce common insect pests by 34 to 98%. Some studies have shown that birds reduce 20 to 26% of grasshoppers in crops. Birds are a massive consumer of insects and other havoc-causing pest animals. Protecting the wetland. Wading birds like periwinkle and snail kite play an important role in managing wetland grazing species. They hunt these species to save the wetlands from them. Otherwise, in the absence of predators, the wetland would turn into mudflats due to overgrazing. Pollination and seed dispersal. Pollination is an irreplaceable step in the reproduction of seed plants. Some birds like spider hunter, honey eaters, hummingbirds, etc. help in pollination. Seed dispersal is the process of shifting of the seeds from the faraway place from the mother plant. When some birds like sparrows, pigeons, etc. carry grain seeds from one place to another, some of it falls down and these seeds may grow into new plants.
Now coming to the next point, that is coral reef growth. The guano, or in simple words, the bird droppings of seabirds is more useful than other birds. They produce larger amount of guano than other birds. The bird droppings land in water bodies and reach the coral reef systems. Seabirds help in fertilizing the coral reefs because they are rich in nutrients. Here you can also see that these three images show the coral reef. Now coming to the next point. Birds also help in balancing the food chain and cleaning the environment. Some birds like eagle, hawk help to keep the rodent numbers in check by eating the first reproducing rodents. This helps to maintain the balance in the food chain. They also help to clean our environment and make it healthy by eating the animals, means the dead animals. coming to the next point. Birds also help in forest ecosystem by dispersing fungi. There are some species of birds like black-throated butterhood that feed on fungi. When these birds eat fungus to eat, they collect spores on their bodies, which they disperse throughout the forest when they travel. These use fungi within their roots and form an intricate network. It is believed that trees rely on fungi networks to communicate with one another and share resources like food and water. And also, they said this signals if there is an insect attack. Birds also spread an important service by spreading. Now coming to the last point, that is, birds also contribute to the happiness of people. Birding brings joy to millions of people around the world. This not only encourages people to get outdoors and enjoy birding in their natural habitat, but also boosts the economy. Birds can bring happiness throughout their sound and colorful sights in anyone's life. A hospital in UK plays soothing bird sounds in the children ward to calm anxious patients. Here you can see all the colorful birds.
Now, coming to the conclusion. Birds are vital to our ecosystem, so we shouldn't hunt them and should take good care of them to make our earth more colorful, beautiful, and magnificent. So that's it for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sohan, Sudeep, and Anupam. Very nice presentation. You have said about so many role of birds in nature.
Yes, sir.
Just one question for you both. Can you just explain what is mutualism with reference to relationship between birds and flowering plants?
Sorry, sir.
I've said, can you explain what is mutualism with reference to birds and flowering plants? Okay, let me give the hints. You talked about birds help in pollination. So how do birds help in pollination? Why do the birds go to the flowers? In return, what do they get? That is what the question.
Birds help in pollination because some birds like hummingbird, when they the nectar from the flowers, some of the pollen grains
Attached to their body.
Next, and then go to another flower. In this way, the pollen grains transfer from one another.
One plant.
This process is called pollination.
Very good. I have asked, mutualism means in this relationship, both are benefited. The plant is benefited, also the bird is benefited. Why the bird is going? For edible pollen grains? Yes or no? For nectar and all. So bird is benefited as well as the plant is benefited. This is called mutualism, where both the partners are benefited. Okay, thank you, both of you. Thank you so much.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sohar and Anupam. Next, I would like to call Ridhima Das from Fori. Hello.
morning. Women are present in here. Today, I'm going to talk about the famous ornithologist of India. Ornithology in India started way back from Babur, Akbar, Jahangir, A.O. Hume, and Dharma Kumar Singh ji and Dr. Salim Ali were some of the contributors. Dr. Salim Ali, who wrote many books and journals on natural history and birds. Let's now see the profile of Dr. Salim Ali. Dr. Salim Ali was born on 12 November 1896 in Ketwadi, Mumbai. His profession was to be an ornithologist and a naturalist. He was honored with the awards with Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan. He was also known as the Birdman of India and the Grand Old Man of India. Salim Ali's interest was in studying birds, living birds in their natural environment. Apart from studying birds, he had a passion in playing cricket and hunting. He was also fascinated by motorcycles having Sunbeam and Harley Davidsons. He was well known as India's birdman or the greatest Indian ornithologist at a time when ornithology and bird study was considered little more than a leisurely pastime for Englishmen and rich. Dr. Salim Ali made it a serious subject. He also studied birds as behavioral science and ethology. In 1918, Salim Ali married to Chamina. She proved to be a wonderful companion, sharing his interests and living in remote and wilderness with him. Let us see about an interesting story from where Dr. Salim Ali's interest in studying birds started from. A fall of a sparrow. When he was about 9 or 10, his uncle presented him with an air gun, from which he became good at shooting sparrows. On one of my rare occasions, I noticed that the victim, which was intended to be a common house sparrow, bore a circassian yellow patch in its throat. He took the little dead bird to Bombay Natural History Society, BNHS, to find out more about it, and was told that it was not an common house sparrow, but a rare yellow-throated sparrow. Dr. Salim Ali wrote many books on birds, but the first book he wrote was the Book of Indian Birds. It was the bestseller in India. Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi were among those who read it. He was honored with Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan Award in 1958 and 1976. He also received several awards, like he was awarded honorably with the Joy Govinda Law Gold Medal by Aesthetic Society of Bengal. He was also awarded the honorary doctorate from Kerala Agriculture Universities, where on his name there are many universities and colleges. A popular figure and legend of his lifetime, books, broadcasts, and stamps all over India was Salim Ali. Salim Ali was a key person behind the creation of Kharagpur Bird Sanctuary, the largest bird sanctuary in India. Let's end this PPT by the quote said by Dr. Salim Ali. I have done my bit. It's now up to you, younger people. So friends, we are the future generation of India, and we should love and care of birds and respect nature. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
Okay, thank you, Ridhima. Very fluent presentation. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Just for example, you talked about the famous ornithologist. What is ornithology, if I ask you?
Ornithologist means the work that ornithologists do. Means seeing about birds in natural environment and learning and studying birds' features and all.
The simple language you can say study of birds is called as ornithology. Why Salim Ali is known as the Birdman of India?
Sir, because he loved birds and.
Do you like birds?
Yes, sir.
Do you like birds?
Yes, sir. I love birds.
Good. Have you any pet bird in your home?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ridhima, for your interesting facts about ornithologists and Dr. Salim Ali. Now, let's invite Devansh Bhol and Jeet Malik from 4D.
Hello.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
हाँ,
Good morning, everyone. My name is Devans Bhul.
And my name is Zepali.
It's my privilege and honor to welcome everyone to Third Children's Science Conclave 2022. First, we would like to thank all the teachers and staff members for putting up this event. Event like this is a platform for us to showcase our talent. Well, before we present our topic, Birds Week, we would like to tell you that unlike other living creatures, birds do not have teeth to chew their food. Instead, they have beak to make the food soft so that they can swallow it easily. Different birds have different shape of beaks on the basis of their food habit. In this presentation, I will tell you in details on this beak. Usefulness of beak. Birds use their beak to catch and eat food. It also helps them to protect themselves from their enemies. And more importantly, it helps them in preening their feather. More on preening, have a glance. Now, I will tell you on types of beaks. First is crushing beak. Birds like pigeons and sparrows have a short and strong beak which helps them to crush the seeds and grains, thereby make them soft before eating. Next is curved beak. Birds like parrot have a curved beak. It helps them in cracking nuts and fruits. The next is piercing and tearing beak. Birds like eagle and vulture have a strong and hard beak. It helps them to tear the flesh. The next one is chiseling beak. Birds like woodpecker have a strong, long, and straight beak. It helps them to eat the insects present inside the wood. More on this topic, over to my friend Jeet Malik.
Let's talk on roving beak. Birds like the smallest bird, which is 5 centimeters only, the hummingbird, the hoopie, and the sunbird have a long cylinder beak.
Sunbird sucks nectar from flowers while Whoopi takes out insects from the ground. Sifting beak. A duck has a flat board and which has small holes on both sides. It digs up the food along water and mud. Its beak pushes out the water and mud and food behind. It thus its beak help in sifting water and mud. Sticky beak. Sticky beak. A swallow has a small board and sticky beak. It is sticky from inside. This helps swallow to catch flies while flying. Now let us know more about birds. The beak is bird's nose and its mouth. There are no teeth in bird's beak. The beak continuously grows. The shape of the beak dictates on the bird's diet. Pelicans have the longest beak in the world. New Zealand plovers can move its beak to side. An average pupan can hold 10 fish in its mouth. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Have a cheerful and wonderful day ahead.
Any questions, please?
Okay. Thank you, Devans. Am I audible? Devans and Jit.
Yes, sir.
Presentation. Okay. Just one. You talked about the smallest bird. Can you name the smallest bird?
The smallest bird is the hummingbird.
How do it collect its food?
Sucks the nectar from flowers.
Okay. Why do different birds have different types of beaks?
The different birds have different types of beaks because to their food habit. Depends on their food habit.
Very good. Okay, very good.
Sir, any suggestions?
Only one suggestion if you ask me. In your first slide,
Yes,
the sub-theme was something different and your topic was something different. So that is only, if you can go to the first slide.
First slide. First slide. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Sir, on PowerPoint. Thank you, Saita, ma. Thank you, Saita.
Don't worry, they will do it. They will do it. You don't worry. No. Previous one. Title slide. Only bird sanctuary that is written and your topic is birds big. That is what one concern.
Yes, sir. I have written it mistakenly.
Otherwise, it is very good, well documented. Only thing is that topic needs to be properly mentioned.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
That
I'll
is what-
change it.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome, sir. Thank you so much, Devansh Bhol and Jeet Malik. Now I would like to invite Siddhi Binayak Jeena and Aditi Rath from 5-8 who are going to present on birds migration. Over to them. A warm welcome to everyone.
Myself Siddhivinayak Jina.
And I, Aditi Rat. Today, we are going to present our PPT on the theme of neighbors with feathers.
Our subtheme is bird migration.
So let's begin.
In this presentation, the information we should get from this presentation are definition of migration of birds, why do birds migrate, how birds migrate,
Famous visiting places of migratory birds in India, known migratory birds, advantages and disadvantages, and next, the most fun part, the picture gallery. So let's start. Now we come upon the definition of migration of birds. The word migration comes from a Latin word, migrare, which means to travel. Migration of birds is the regular seasonal movement of birds from their natural habitat to another area. Bird migration is also known as avian migration. It is one of nature's great wonders. In this picture, you can see the birds migrating.
When we hear that birds are migrating, the first thing in the mind is why do birds migrate? Birds migrate because of the following reasons: for finding suitable climate, for breeding, for finding sources of food and water, etc. Do you know the arrival of flock of swallows signals the arrival of summer?
Now the most interesting thing pops up. How birds migrate? Birds typically migrate in winter seasons from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere. It helps them to find a suitable climate. Birds follow the same route while migrating annually. It helps them to reach safely without any problems. Latitudinal migration is common in birds. Latitudinal migration moves along the latitude of the earth. It passes each and every latitude of the earth, crossing north to south and the vice versa.
Next comes famous visiting places of migratory birds in India. The first one is the Chilika Lake situated in our beloved state, Odisha. Next is the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, which is the largest bird sanctuary in Asia, situated in Rajasthan. Next is the little one of Kutch in Gujarat, and next is the Bhitarkanikar Bird Sanctuary in our Odisha. And there are also many more famous visiting places of migratory birds.
Next, we come upon known migratory birds. Some known migratory birds are the Arctic tern, greater flamingo, Siberian crane, swallow, great white pelican, rosy starling, and painted stork.
Next, you know, the bird migration has also some advantages and disadvantages. First, come to the advantages of bird migration. Migration provides birds with new environment, provides them with greater supply of food. They are provided with shelter and territory. Better suited environment. Migration plays an important role in the evolution. Birds have adapted themselves for migration, either short or long distances.
Now let's go on the disadvantages of bird migration. Many young are not able to reach the destination because they die during the continuous and tiresome journey. Sudden changes in the climate, such as storms and hurricanes, strong wind, fog, are the causes for the death of a sizable number of migrants. Sometimes man themselves are responsible for the death of the migrants they shoot at these poor birds for their own leisure and amusement. Next, we have the most fun part of this PPT, the picture gallery. So, in the first picture, you can see the swallow and the greater flamingo. Next, you can see the Arctic tern and Siberian crane.
Next,
In the big picture, you can see painted stork, and after that, they are rose sterling and reed white pelican. Therefore, we should take a pledge that we should take care of these migrants. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. Please ask if you have any questions, queries, or doubts.
Okay, thank you, Aditi and Siddhi Vinayak. This is indeed a very nice presentation.
Thank you very much,
And
sir.
Aditi, very nice modulation of speech.
Thank you so much,
Both
sir.
of you. I just give you simple questions.
Yes, sir.
Just can you a little bit elaborate what is migration with respect to birds? You talked about bird migration.
Sorry, sir.
What is migration with respect to birds?
So, migration in respect to bird is that birds migrate for many types of reasons, sometimes for breeding, sometimes for suitable climate. Humans also migrate, but they also migrate for the following reasons. Birds also migrate for finding food and water because they have a shortage of these resources. That is what the migration means in this.
Is it a temporary event or permanent one?
Didn't catch that, sir.
I said migration in a birds is a temporary event or permanent one.
Sir, it's a temporary
Children,
event.
Please maintain
Birds-
silence.
Typically, birds migrate in winter season and go back to their respective homes in the summer. But starling go to the northern hemisphere in summer and come back to their respective home in the winter.
Now, question is they travel a very long distance. How do they remember their route?
Sir, it has gone with the evolution. Since the birds had started migrating, they have remembered their paths. So when new generation of birds come, they also learn that from their elders. Such as we know the calls of birds are the same. That's why they also remember the routes for their migration. That's also coming genetically.
What is genetics?
So genetic is which the genes that we gain from our parents, from our ancestors. It is present in our family.
Okay, thank you very much. Nice answers.
Thank you, sir. Sir, have you got any suggestions for us to improve this PPT?
It's very good. I'm really happy for this presentation. As you grow, as you go to higher classes, again, you will be presenting more and more. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Siddhi Vinayak and Aditi, for your informative presentation. Now, I would like to invite RV and Puravi from 4F who are going to enlighten on the topic nesting habits of birds.
Are we audible? Yes. Okay. A warm good morning to honorable judges, respected teachers, and my dear friends. This is R.V. Satpathy, and this is Puravi Ghadai of Class 4, Section F. Today, we are going to present on a primary topic, neighbors with feathers, the nesting habits of the birds, conducted by the Third Children's Seminar, P.V. Chandrasekharpur, Bhubaneswar, 2022, directed and guided by Mr. Shashmi Rekha Pradhan. Before presenting and explaining on our topic, let us watch this small glimpse of video. How birds get their effort to make their nest. So friends, here we see that nest represents family, stability, growth, and life around other fortunate things. It symbolizes that good karma always returns to you due to your good care and responsible maintenance of your environment. It is a good sign and luck for every living being living in or around it. So, creating a home is not an instant action. It is a long procedure and we should take care of birds' nests because they are the indicators of our environment. If they are in trouble, soon we will be in trouble. Birds are recognized as one of the most important indicators of the state environment because they are sensitive to their habitat change. They are easy to censors and ecologists' favorite tool. One day when I was walking in my apartment's garden, I saw my eyes were caught by something laying under a tree. I saw it was a delicate nest of a small bird. So here is a live example for us to see what efforts do birds put in to make their nests. So this is a great opportunity for us to know how the birds make their nests like the other living beings' houses. Birds are really intelligent animals and they use their intelligence along with their beak, feet and claws to find the most clever way to make their nest. Birds make their nest just for one thing, to hold the bird's egg and the baby birds after they have hatched. Birds also build their nest to provide three things, that is camouflage, safety and shelters. So friends, now it is time to briefly explain about the nesting habits of the birds. You always be thinking, why is nesting habit important for a bird? Yes, it is very necessary because it is the only spot where the parent bird lay their egg, incubate the egg and raise their offsprings. It provides a safe place for the baby birds and their eggs so that they can grow and protect themselves from hot, cold, wind, or the large birds and predators. It is very important for the birds' reproduction and their survival. Now let us come to the nesting cycle. In most of the cases, birds usually have only one nest throughout the whole breeding years. But when the matter comes to the birds like the pigeon and the American robin, they usually have at least 4 to 5 or 7 to 8 nests throughout one breeding year or throughout only one single breeding season. Do you know when do birds make their nest? It's often known as beginning of nesting season, which is in the month of April.
Birds also think about the weather when they build their nest. They don't want lots of water get into their nest or wind to blow them down to the ground or baby birds to get hot. Birds like siren crane, flamingo, and painted stork migrate to warmer place to protect themselves from hot and cold weather. So friends, you all must be curious to know about the different types of nests and the nesters. Do you know different types of birds have different types of nests and they use special skills to make them? Let us know. First, the cup-shaped nest. The nesters like the hummingbird, flycatchers, swallows, etc. make the nest with the help of twigs, straws, and they combine it with the help of bird saliva. They make it on the branches of the tree. Next, hanging nest. Nesters like sunbird, tailor bird, fire weaver build a nest which hangs from the branches of the trees. Then, the cavities. The nesters like the woodpecker, nuthatches, cicadas, etc. peg the wood, make the hole there, and live there as the nest. Then, the platform nest. Nesters like osprey, eagle, egrets build their nest in many platforms using twigs, cotton, and other nesting materials. Then, the burrowing birds. The nesters like the owls, seabirds, etc. make the nest in the burrows so that they can protect themselves from any weather changes by the wind or the large birds and predators. Last but not the least, crave in ground nests. Nesters like penguin, shorebirds, and gulls do not make their nests. They directly lay their eggs in the ground, just like crave. Now, RV, can you explain what they use to make their nest? Yes, definitely. Birds are very intelligent animals. Along with their special skills, they use their beak, claws, and feet to make their nest, and also some special materials. Let us know them. They use sticks, twigs, grasses, reeds, leaves, fur, hair, wooden pieces, man-made materials, cocoon, spider web, etc. to make their nest. Purabhi, can you explain where birds make their nests? Birds make their nests in the places like hedges, bushes, trees, sometimes directly on the ground, in many platforms, under the roof, etc. Now, Purabhi, can you say, do birds nest in groups? Also, most birds are solitary nesters, but some of them work in pair, and they, like sparrow, sunbird, and dove, work in pairs to make their nest, and hence they are known as colony. A blue heron makes its nest in a rookery, sometimes dozen or more nests in just one place. Arvi, please explain, do all birds make their nests? Surprisingly, not all birds make their nests. The birds like the koel, the brown-headed cowbird, the Indian owl do not make their nest. Rather, they lay their egg in the nest of other birds. They do not build their nest in the specific or natural way. They lay their egg directly on the ground or the places like the scrape. Example, the egrets, the eagles, ospreys, etc. Remember, when we both were reading the chapter Birds and Their Nesting Habits, our respected class teacher, Mrs. Rashmi Rekha Pradhan ma'am, used to say that birds make their nest without any instruction and practice. Birds have a challenging job to protect themselves and the young ones from hunters and predators.
We should not disturb birds or break their eggs.
Yes, birds are life, color, and sound to our lives. Watching wild birds can often be a diversion from the pressure of our daily lives. The birdman of India, Dr. Salim Ali. He was a renowned ornithologist and a naturalist. He has some words for the young bird watchers like us. It is to love bird without any institution or sentimentally. Friends, do you know, along with the birdman of India, there is also a nestman of India, who is none other than Mr. Rakesh Khatri. He has taught at least 1,25,000 students and has made 2,50,000 nests all over the world to save the sparrow. He has a strong and determined mission: bring back the sparrow. His best way of making the nest by using the reusable materials like the Tetra packs, the plastic bottles, the coconut shells, reeds, etc. He has also come to our school to teach us how to make the nests.
Birds can survive without us, but we cannot survive without birds. Save birds.
Thank you.
Any question or any doubt?
questions?
Okay, thank you. You did an excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Very confident, well presented, everything in flow. Just one or two queries rather. You talked about birds make the nest to camouflage. What do you understand by camouflage?
Camouflage means to keep safe and be hidden from predators, poachers, to keep them safe.
Now see, this nest you have prepared or it's an artificial one?
Actually, this nest is the real nest made by the bird. We found it under a tree, and this one.
This is a pigeon's nest.
And that nest was handmade.
Who has made it?
We both and our mothers
helps us.
How many days you have taken?
Sir, what?
How many days you have taken to make the nest?
Maybe 1-2 days.
Two
days.
Say a big thank you to your mothers.
Okay, sir.
Help you a lot. Excellent presentation. No more question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Arvi and Purabi, for your beautiful presentation. Now, I would like to invite Swetanjit Patnaik of 5E. My name is Swetanjit Patnaik from class 5 section E. Today I am here to present the topic about role of birds in nature. My guide is Nidha Naik. Role of birds in nature. Birds are pollinators. Birds are important part of an ecosystem. Birds act as pest control. Birds spread nutrients to the oceans. Birds contribute happiness to people. Let us discuss. Birds are important for pollinators. Hummingbird and other flower visiting birds provide an important service to plant and trees. The birds dive deep within flowers to get sweet nectar, and this is when pollen attached to their bodies. Then they spread the pollens to other flowers they visit, allowing plants to reproduce. Birds are an important part of ecosystem. There is such a vast variety of birds of many different sizes that perform important role within just one ecosystem. Smaller birds may eat seeds and nutrients, dropping many of these to the forest floor when creatures belong can access these nutrients. Birds of prey have to keep rodent number in check, and vultures clean the land by scavenging the dead meat. Birds act as pest controller. Worldwide, birds consume about 400 to 500 million tons of insects each year. This is within garden, forest, farmland, and even towns and cities. Birds spread nutrients to the oceans. Seabirds eat fish and sea devils, creatures out in the open ocean or near the shore. These birds must return to land, rest, and lay their egg in nests. During this time, that they will deposit guano or dropping usually on the rock or land they nest on. These bird droppings are rich in nutrients such as nitrogen, which is an excellent fertilizer for plants. Birds contribute to the happiness of peoples. Birds bring joy to millions of people around the world. This is the hobby of observing and identifying birds in their natural habitat. There is benefits to birds for everyone. A hospital in Liverpool, UK, plays shooting bird song in the hall of children's words to calm anxious patients. Birds can bring happiness through their sounds and sign while connecting people to nature. Last but not the least, birds inspire science. From the technology of flight, the invention of zipper, modeler on the broadbills of feather, humans have drawn inspiration from birds. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swatanjit Patnaik. It was a good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Only one or two radar queries I would like to know from you.
Yes, sir.
If there will be no birds, what will happen to human beings?
Sir, when there is no birds, the food chain will be blocked and the human being get bored.
They will get bored. Why?
Yes, sir.
Why? They
Because birds, human beings are attracted to birds. That's why.
They love bird watching.
Ye-
They listen
yes,
to the
sir.
song of birds.
Yes, sir.
You said that birds help in agriculture.
Yes, sir.
So, they provide nitrogen to the soil, you mentioned. Can you say which nitrogenous waste is excreted by birds? You said they deposit certain nitrogen waste. Can you
Yes,
name which type of nitrogenous waste excreted by birds?
No, sir.
Okay. This is uric acid that will be knowing. Anyhow, very good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you so much, Ratanjeet, for the wonderful presentation. Next, I would like to invite Jagdish Behera from 5D, who is going to present on the topic flying patterns. Hello.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jagdish Behera. Today, I am tell some lines about birds and their flying patterns. So let's start without wasting any time. So let's talk about what is our content. The content is what are birds, what did birds eat, how did birds fly, what is birds flying patterns, what is called birds flying patterns, and why did birds fly in a pattern. So first we start with what are birds. Birds are a group of warm-blooded vertebrates consisting the class apes, characterized by the feathers, toothless, beaked jaws, and the laying of hard-shelled eggs, or a high metabolic rate, or a four-chamber heart, and a strong yet lightweight skeletons. The fact: penguins can jump so high as long as 9 feet, and another fact is some birds can sleep with one eye open. What did birds eat? It depends on the bird and the same time on the time of the year. Some eat seeds, berries, fruits, insects, and other birds eat small eggs, small mammals, fish, birds, larvae, aquatic invertebrates, acrons, and other nutrients, aquatic vegetation, grain and dead animals, garbage, and much more. Fact of our human birds can consume 100% of their body weight in sugar, water, or nectar. And another fact is birds eat a ton of insects, betamol, orbits, and can eat 17 caterpillars in a minute. It depends on their beaks. Some like the curved and hard beaks. The examples like pigeons and sparrow eats seeds, berries, and fruits. And like eagle, they have sharp beak to tear the flesh of animals. How did birds fly? Birds obtain thrust by their using their strong muscles and flapping their wings. Some birds, they may use gravity. For some example, jumping from a tree to give them forward thrust for flight. Other may use a running takeoff from the ground. The fact time is birds can fly forward, backwards, well known as zooming bird. Another fact is birds in migration can travel as far as 16,000 miles. Second, we talk about what is birds flying pattern. Mentioned earlier, there is a quite number of reasons why birds fly in a V shape. The reasons are as follows: to make longer distance flight easier, V formation helps birds to sense their wings based, and the mesinal feathers helps in energy conservation. The fact is, various theories exist about the bird flight involved, including flight from falling or gliding the trees down the. Another fact: birds flying in a soaring pattern take advantage of space at the edge of the natural float on air. What did birds flying pattern called? It's called murmurance. Having you ever seen a murmurant? If murmuration. If you have, would you know it? Seeing hundreds, even thousands of staring flying together in a welling ever charging pattern is a phenomenon of nature that amazes and delights through lucky enough and witness it. What did birds flying pattern in? Why did birds fly in a pattern? There are two reasons. Two reasons birds might fly in a V formation. It makes flight easier, or they are simple followings. The leader square downs of planes can save fuel by flying in a V formation, and many scientists suggest that migrating birds do the same. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you very much, Jagdish, for a very nice presentation.
Yes, sir. Thank
I
you.
have only one question. You have said about different flying pattern in birds. Can you say what are the flight adaptation in birds? How the bird is able to fly? Why not us? Flight adaptation in birds. Could you get my question?
Can you tell again?
Flight adaptation in bird. What are the features present in birds that help it to fly?
The features that helps the birds to fly, they have a boat-like wave structure to fly, easily glide in air, and wings to fly.
Okay, they have a streamlined body, you are saying. All limbs are modified into wings.
Yes.
They have hollow bones, pneumatic bones. Okay, thank you so much. Very much. Well presentation.
Thank you so much, Jagdish, for your wonderful presentation. Now I would like to invite Aratrika Swine and Sudhachari Nayak of Class 4A, who are going to present a PPT presentation on bird sanctuaries of Odisha. Over to them.
Good morning, everyone. We welcome you to the Science Conclave 2022 of TV Public School, Chandrasekharpur. I, Aratrika Swine, and I, Sudhachari Nayak, students of Class 4A, are going to present a PowerPoint presentation on the theme Neighbors with Feathers, and our topic is Bird Sanctuaries of Odisha, guided by our beloved science teacher, Mr. Prasanna Kumar Dharasan. So let us start. A quick peek with my slender beak in a flower whose nectar I seek. Beautiful to behold and charming to watch, birds are the most unique living bodies found on earth, belonging to the class of apes. Their feathers, wings, claws, and beaks make them unique from all other living beings found on our planet Earth. Around 11,000 bird species that have been identified and described worldwide. In India, it is more than 1,210 species, and in Odisha, it is more than 400 times.
So the first question arises, what is a bird sanctuary? Bird sanctuaries are the nature habitats of birds that help in conservation, protection and survival of birds. The sanctuary area comprises of swampy floating biomass and open water bodies based on climate and other natural phenomena. So why do we need a bird sanctuary? If we want to see the colorful birds flying in the sky, their sweet chirping sounds in the morning, then we need to protect them. As we all know that other animals are being endangered, and that is why a bird sanctuary is made, particularly for the preservation of endangered birds, which are on the verge of extinction.
Bird Sanctuaries of India. As per the Bombay Natural History Society, BNHS, there are around 72 bird sanctuaries around India and around 1210 bird species. Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, now known as the Kelado Ghana National Park, is considered as the largest bird sanctuary in the continent of Asia.
Bird sanctuaries of Odisha. Birds are the most important constituents of the fauna of Odisha, upholding the best possible example of biodiversity like huge coastlines, lakes, forests, wetlands. Odisha is a paradise for birds. Chilika Lake is the largest brackish water lake or lagoon of India and second in world. Is a shelter point of millions of migratory and resident birds, and it is one of the most popular bird wildlife sanctuary of Odisha. Chilika consists of a number of islands and wetlands like Narabana and Mangalajodi, which are the heaven for birds. 211 species of birds are recorded in Chilika and its environs.
Narabana is situated in the heart of Chilika Lake. It is the core area of the Ramsar designated wetlands of Chilika. Narabana means a weed-covered island. It got the status of a sanctuary in 1987 under the Wildlife Protection Act. 121 species of birds are reported from Narabana. It is a prime refuge point for thousands of migratory and resident birds, especially the spoon-billed sandpiper, black-tailed cormorant, flamingos, storks, etc.
The white-bellied seagull, parakeet, Brahmini kites, kestrel, marshals, and the world's most widespread bird of prey, peregrine falcon, are among the raptors seen here. Many short-legged birds like plovers, shrub, dunlin, snipes, sandpipers, etc. are also found on the mudflats.
Mangalajodi is a small hamlet located on the northern shores of Chilika Lake. It is a marshy wetland. More than 230 bird species live in Mangalajodi or call it their home during the winter months. It is also one of the largest wintering grounds of the continent of Asia. Over 100 exotic bird species fly in from Eurasia and Arctic regions every November to February to escape the chilling cold of their home bases.
Amongst the birds available here are lesser whistling duck, jargony, ruddy shell duck, grey Indian spot-billed duck, knob-billed duck, gadwall, Asian palm swift, ruddy-breasted crane are some of the other birds found here.
Bird sanctuary located at the coastline of Odisha with dense mangrove forests. Vipakanika is ideal for wonderful birds like round-winged kingfishers, collared kingfishers, stork-billed and shady kingfishers. So, big
Like a bird, expand your wings, learn new things, and fly as you can. Thank you. Now we would welcome any queries from our judges.
Okay, first one, Aratrika and Sudatari, very good, nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Only one or two queries. You talked about there are about 400 bird species in Odisha. Can you name the state bird of Odisha?
Yes, sir. Indian toll
Very
is the state bird of Odisha.
Okay. In one of your slides, you have mentioned about Ramsar sites.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by Ramsar site? And give one example from Odisha.
Sir, in that slide we were talking about Noraban Bird Sanctuary, which is the only bird sanctuary. So it is the core area of that Ramsar designated place.
What is Ramsar site exactly? You have said it correctly.
Sir, for bird species, it is a famous bird area.
Okay, Bhitarkanika is also one of the examples.
Yes, sir. But sir, it is a bird area. In the winter, especially, many birds are attracted.
So simple. These are wetlands of international importance.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. Nice presentation.
sir.
Thank you, both of you.
Thank you, Haratika and Sudachari, for your spectacular performance. Now, I would like to invite Priyanshu Das from 5F, who's going to give us information on the topic bird migration.
Morning, everyone. I am Priyanshu Das from Standard 5F, present here to share my presentation on the topic bird migration. So, let's start. Why do birds migrate? Birds fly over miles of distances in order to find the most suitable conditions and habitats for feeding, breeding, or raising their young ones. For example, birds fly to colder places during the summer seasons and the warmer places during the winter seasons. Patterns of migration. Birds migrate in flocks. The most common pattern during the bird migration is the V shape. They have an equal share of work in the formation of V shape. The birds also fly in a systematic order. The older birds that have traveled many times in their life forms the first row, and next are the female birds who form the third row, and in between the older birds and the female birds forms the younger birds who are traveling for the first time. Injured birds are sent to the last row. Types of migration. Long distance migration. Many bird populations migrate long distances along a flyway. The most common pattern involves flying north in the spring to the breed in the temperature of the Arctic summer and returning in the autumn to the wintering grounds in warmer regions to the south. Short distance migration. Short distance is traveled by birds. The journey starts at dawn and ends at dusk. Longitudinal migration. This movement of birds is from east to west or west to east. Latitudinal migration. This migration is between the different longitudes. Migration is between the areas of different latitudes. from north to south and vice versa. It is the most common migration that the birds undertakes. In this, the birds migrate from north to south. How do birds find their flyway? Birds find their flyway by using their learned landmarks which sense directions from the Earth's magnetic field or from the sun to identify where they are and so to navigate. Sun compass cues. The sun rises in the east and overheaded at noon it sets in the west. Celestial cues. Angle between the horizon decreases towards the equator and thus it helps the birds to find their flyway. Magnetic compass. Birds orient themselves by using the Earth's magnetic field. Advantages of bird migration. New environment for birds provide them with greater supply of food, avoidance from predators. Migratory birds help in dispersal of seeds, leading to the maintenance of biodiversity along with their routes. Then migratory birds help in dispersal of seeds, leading to the maintenance of biodiversity along with their routes. In this way, they face different environmental conditions and can meet the needs of their young ones more efficiently. They are provided with shelter. Disadvantages of bird migration. Many young birds are not able to reach their destination as they die during their way. These birds go through the man-made towers and wind turbines and they die. Many bad people shoot at these poor birds just for their own leisure and amusement. We should not, sudden changes in the climate such as storms and hurricanes are the main cause of the sizable deaths of the migrants. And in the last, I would like to say that what we can do for the migratory birds. We can reduce the use of pesticides in our fields. We should give them water or some food when they come to our roof. We should build a nest for them. We should not allow our pet dogs or cats to eat them. We should plant more and more plants, or these plants will grow up to form trees which will help the birds to build their nests on it. And thank you for a patient hearing. Sir, any questions?
No. Priyanshu, good presentation. So many information you have given.
Thank you, sir.
Only one or two questions. You said there are both advantages and disadvantages in migration.
Yes, sir.
In your views, birds should migrate or they should not migrate?
Sir, what?
Birds should migrate or not?
Sir, they should migrate, but it's the fault of the humans that they should not do this kind of activities.
Which activities you consider?
Sir, like building many towers and the bad people kill those poor birds.
Do you consider migration as an adaptation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Good
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Priyanshu, for your informative presentation. Thanks everyone for such beautiful presentation. Time is the ray of light which removes the darkness of ignorance and takes us towards the path of progress.
Ma'am.
Yes, you are right. I'm amazed after learning so much about the beautiful world of birds. Thank you all for sparing your precious time and making the day memorable. A special thanks to Prasanna sir for giving us a wonderful opportunity to moderate today's program. Thank you all and have a cheerful and a wonderful day ahead.